that compulsion, that stumbling block, that thing that you can't deal with. And for some people, it's something that Bill Hybels calls a holy discontent. A holy discontent, a righteous anger over something wrong being done. Something that is affecting people negatively. I had one occasion with music in the same regard. It was the day that the Bay Bridge was being opened, and I wanted to be one of the last people to ride the ferry. The only thing was I was not the only one who had that idea. There was a long line of cars waiting for that last opportunity to ride the ferry across the bay. And while we were sitting there, we heard two cars in front of us, someone blasting their music. So loud that if we blasted our own music in our vehicle, we still could hear their music being blasted. And if any of you know who this person is, this artist, they were blasting Eminem. Uncensored Eminem rap music. Now, Eminem has some music that has made it on the airwaves, that's okay, but this was not the stuff that goes on the airwaves. Blasted really, really loud. This frustrated me for a time, so I went up to them and asked them to turn it down. They turned it down briefly. I asked them to turn it down again after a little bit. I said, hey, there are children here running around and playing. You should not play this music. They could do it. They felt they had the right to do it. And that's a feeling that we often have. We have the right to do this. It's like the people in Corinth. We have the right to eat this steak. But what does it do to other people? Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. It can cause a stumbling block to other people, cause a problem for other people, even if it isn't for you. Whether it's alcohol, whether it's language, whether it's what you watch on TV. What we do affects those around us. Remember, our faith is not simply something that is ours alone. Our faith is something that is lived out in community. Something that is lived out within our families, immediately, in our homes, in our extended family, in our church community, and then ultimately throughout the world. The witness that we make here in Pass Christian, Mississippi, as little as we may think it may, affects people way over in Alexandria, Egypt. It affects people all the way around the world. We live a faith that is lived out in community. Now Paul talks to the people here in Corinth and says, be careful for this weak brother. Be careful, however, that the exercise of your freedom does not become a stumbling block to the weak. For if anyone with a weak conscience sees you who have this knowledge eating in an idol's temple, won't he be emboldened to eat what has been sacrificed to idols? So this weak brother for whom Christ died is destroyed by your knowledge. They are still affected by it. And when we read this passage, don't we tend to look at ourselves as the stronger one? There's a saying that I heard in a movie talking about poker. That's also another advice for people that can be stumbling block. That if you can't find the mark at the table, it's probably you. For all of us, we have something that is a stumbling block to us that causes us a problem. Even Paul talked about the thorn in his side. The thing that kept coming back and coming back and coming back to him. This stumbling block. For each of us, there is something that we deal with. And whether we deal with it with holy discontent or to stumble and fall. We go to God and ask for forgiveness. But as that weaker brother, we ask those around us to be sensitive to that. We live out in community. We live out in community. For me, it may be a problem with music, not hearing the right type of music getting into me. For somebody else, it could be that glass of beer or wine affecting them. Coming to your home and seeing something on your TV that they wouldn't expect, thinking that now it's okay for me to watch it. For everybody, there's something, a hidden sin, a past shame that causes a stumbling block for us. Flaunting our rights to cause other people to sin isn't right. Just because we can do it doesn't mean we should do it. Our aim in this time of Epiphany and seeing God glorified and seeing God revealed to the world, we need to ask this question that Paul asked: what do you want me to do? Our goal in this time is to draw people to Jesus Christ into that hope. By flaunting something that we have freedom from and somebody else doesn't, it pushes them away. We live out faith in community. And as a community, our desire needs to be to draw other people to Jesus Christ. And to be careful how we live. Amen.